Every time after having a deep communication with my wife, she falls asleep immediately like a pig. I always thought she didn't love me, until I heard her inner thoughts. Why does it feel like hubby's not very interested tonight? Oh, hubby won't dislike me for not being good enough, right? Should I get up and try one more time? Is there any hope left? By the moonlight, I look at her with eyes closed. The woman breathing steadily, thinking for a moment I was hallucinating. The voice by my ear kept chattering. Hubby has been staring at me. How can I fall asleep now? My heart is beating so fast. Handsome and gentle who? Hubby really wants to hold her. But hubby likes cold and aloof women. I can't let her down. For the sake of loving me, I can change myself. Have to believe it. I really heard Liu Ruyan's inner thoughts. The contrast with her usual self is just too big. Is this really her? She, this person has always been cold and aloof, silent and reserved. That these words could come out of her mouth. I was still a bit uncertain and spoke tentatively. Liu Ruyan, go to sleep. You have work tomorrow. Liu Ruyan didn't even open her eyes, leaving me with a cold back. To sleep her. In normal times, I only felt she was really so indifferent. Now somehow hearing restraint in her cold voice. Because she turned her back to me, my heart ached. Intense output. Hubby's voice sounds so good. So gentle, so considerate. Every time I hear his voice, I can't help but want to attack him with sweet nothings. Whispering sweet words into hubby's ear over and over. But I can't. This kind of behavior must be firmly resisted. Greasy and frivolous women are on hubby's blacklist. My life's motto. Stay away from being greasy. Hubby loves me for a lifetime. Be a happy woman. How come I didn't know I ever mentioned a blacklist? Where on earth did she get that misconception? Having breakfast the next day, Liu Ruyan was the same as usual. Sat on the sofa reading the morning paper after eating, occasionally looking up and then down, checking her watch from time to time. She is. My marriage to Liu Ruyan is a bit absurd to talk about. It was an impulsive decision after a night of heavy drinking. Her choice to marry me was out of sincere love, while I married her out of a sense of responsibility. After marriage, to improve our relationship, I proposed a small agreement. Every morning I would personally tie a scarf for her, and then see her out. This kind of small ritual. I thought it could make our relationship closer. Although Liu Ruyan agreed. Every morning she always finishes breakfast early, sits on the sofa, while looking at her watch, peeking at me. I always thought she was waiting for me impatiently. Until today, I unexpectedly heard her inner thoughts. Heavens, how can hubby look so cute when he just woke up? Every day he reaches a new level of cuteness. She was thinking this way in her heart. Every morning I can sit here and secretly admire the way he eats breakfast. This feeling is truly so happy. It turns out she finishes early every day. Sits there, not to rush me, but to enjoy the time of secretly watching me. She's silently calculating the time in her heart, looking forward to me tying the scarf for her. That moment. Today, when the fried dough stick in my hand accidentally fell into the soy milk, I suddenly realized all this. It turns out Liu Ruyan had been playing the news on her iPad. But her mind wasn't on the news at all, but was counting down to the moment I'd tie her scarf. I used to think I was the only one putting in effort, having to muster the courage to get close to her every morning. But now I know her true thoughts. My feelings have become complicated. Who taught her to treat her husband like this? She doesn't usually communicate with me much. But also, not to the point of being this cold, right? She always keeps her words hidden in her heart, making me mistakenly believe that in this marriage, I can't get any emotional memories. I finished breakfast, tidied up a bit casually. As I walked through the living room, Liu Ruyan was still sitting on the sofa, looking as calm as water. I could hear the surging waves in her heart. Why did hubby forget to tie my scarf today? This is our little ritual. How could he forget? She thought anxiously. Should I remind him? Would that make me seem too clingy? Would it make him think I can't even tie a scarf myself? So useless. Her inner monologue was very rich, but on the surface she tried hard to stay composed. Finally, at the moment I was about to leave, she called out to me. Is something wrong? I still have to rush to work. I stopped my pace, turned back and asked her. Did you forget something? Liu Ruyan's voice broke the mornings. Silence is there? I don't remember. I answered, feigning confusion, though I knew very well in my heart. Looking at her calm expression, there was a moment of sadness. She took out the scarf from the side and handed it to me. The request you made, did you forget? She asked this. I pondered for a moment and said, let's cancel it. Ruyan pursed her lips, eyes as deep as the ocean, staring at me, clearly calm, without a ripple. It seemed whether this promise was cancelled was irrelevant to her. If I hadn't heard her heart screaming wildly, she retorted loudly in her heart. How can what was agreed upon change? No, I don't agree. But she knew everything hubby did and said had its reasons. Hubby is unwilling to continue tying the scarf for her. Is it because his sense of novelty for her has passed? She told herself she must be more obedient. Can't be unreasonably troublesome, or else hubby will hate her. A wife's first rule is to listen to her husband. Hubby said it's cancelled, so I shouldn't resist. She muttered in her heart. As you wish, Liu Ruyan spoke. A very brief and cold reply. But this time, these few words, I sensed a feeling of extreme reluctance. Nodded and said goodbye. Turned and left. Behind me Liu Ruyan was still whimpering. I quickened my pace. Without looking back. Can't be soft-hearted. I must let her experience how I felt before. At night, on the same bed as Liu Ruyan. She was working on her laptop on one side. I was quietly reading a book on the other. Each busy with our own thing, a scene of peaceful times. But I couldn't make out a single word. Liu Ruyan's voice kept ringing in my ears. Completely unable to. Isn't it time for the daily sleep session again? Looking forward most to cuddling with my handsome hubby. She was thinking this in her heart. I'm already prepared. As soon as hubby gives the word, I'll lie flat immediately. I'll take a peek at where hubby is read too. Just one more look should do it. I can go to sleep now. Not yet. As we talked, then he even started singing. Honey, honey, I love you. May Amitabha bless you. May you come see me soon. Let's go to sleep together. My lips twitched. Suddenly, Ishangshu cast an unreadable gaze toward Liu Ruyan. You're really good at acting when you look at me. In fact, he was so full of anticipation. Yet every time, he never takes the initiative. Everything was just fine. I took a deep breath. I smiled broadly. I went to sleep, meeting his gaze filled with unspoken anticipation. The next moment, I looked at his computer. You're not finished with your work, are you? You keep busy with your work. Don't be too late. Good night. And with that, I immediately lay down. I tucked in the quilt. I closed my eyes, all in one smooth motion. Liu Ruyan realized it too late. She stayed silent for a long while. Finally, she responded. Good night. In closing my eyes, just as I imagined, I heard his heart's voice echo in response. Honey, why didn't you give me that warm embrace tonight? Without your arms, how can I ever sleep soundly? Today you overlooked the little gesture of tying my scarf. You didn't even give me a good morning kiss. Now even our nightly ritual of admiring the moon. Isn't it that your passion for me has faded? If your heart is no longer with me, what should I do? I can't live without you. I'm almost about to cry from anxiety. I opened my eyes. I happened to see that Liu Ruyan's eyes were a bit red. She didn't have a chance to avert them. Her expression suddenly looked a bit awkward. What's wrong? I wanted to give him a chance to be honest. Honestly, I'm not used to nights without our late-night deep conversations. Usually I'm the one who takes the initiative. Unless there's a special circumstance. We have a good chat every night. Liu Ruyan's eyes were red as she looked at me. Her gaze clearly showed some inner conflict. I looked at him with an encouraging and expectant look, waiting for him to speak, waiting for him to take the initiative. Liu Ruoyan's lips twitched. Her gaze landed on my face. That look was so heated it made my heart race. The atmosphere was somehow. In the warm, quiet room, it felt as if something was subtly stirring. Even after nearly a year of watching, every time I see that beautiful, enchanting face, I can't help but blush and my heart races. I admit, am completely captivated by Liu Ruoyan's looks. Feeling a bit shy, I looked down. Finally, I saw his next move as I watched expectantly. He set his computer aside. Suddenly I felt a bit nervous. I looked up and met his gaze once more. But then I saw him lift his hand, covering his eyes. He said it was nothing, it's just that his eyes had a little bug fly in. I can't let hubby see me looking like I want to cry. How can I stay attractive then? I'm really clever. Using the excuse of a bug in my eye. My husband will surely come over and help clear it. That way, I can get a little peace. I'm completely thrown off by his little antics. Making me laugh helplessly, my anticipation turned into a joke. This girl is dreaming. After all that's happened, she still expects me to make the first move. No way. I resolutely pushed aside the thoughts in my mind. Turned around completely. Rub it yourself. I'm tired and sleepy. I'm going to sleep. The next day, Liu Ruoyan looked a bit exhausted. There were dark circles under her eyes. She hadn't slept well all night. Her heart was in turmoil. What could I do? I could only listen and listen the whole night. Even though he made so much noise, my head hurt. I still endured it and didn't make a sound. Stopping him after all, he's my wife. If I don't spoil him, who will? Liu Ruoyan hurriedly finished breakfast. She sat on the sofa. He held his phone, typing non-stop. His brows were tightly knitted. I thought something urgent had happened at his company. But then I heard, advisor. I need emergency help. Previously I followed your method and successfully shaped a cold goddess image. My husband really does love me very much. But recently, he suddenly became distant with me. Do you know what happened last night? My husband actually didn't want to be intimate with me. Does he dislike me now? Does he not love me anymore? Please help me quickly. Advisor, what should I do? Should I dig out different sides of my charm? Should I go to your profile and order from the showcase? Feminine charm hidden in the details. Is it enough if I just follow what the book says? Okay then, today I'll carefully study it, and then try again to see the effect. Thank you. Tonight I'll definitely go to your live stream and send you 100 rockets. So all of this was learned from the internet. Liu Ruoyan, you business elite. So adept on the battlefield of commerce. Yet when it comes to feelings, you're so clumsy, you have to go online. To ask relationship experts how to attract your husband. Well, being eager to learn is good, but learning this poorly really makes people worry. After Liu Ruoyan received guidance from the advisor, her mood improved greatly. She went to the bathroom. He didn't take his phone. I tiptoed over to him. I really was curious. Just who could make a business powerhouse like Liu Ruoyan so obsessed? But I was stopped by the phone's lock screen password. I had no choice but to put the phone back where it belonged. When Liu Ruoyan came back from the bathroom, I still hadn't given up. Liu Ruoyan, your phone. Let me use it. Liu Ruoyan looked completely confused, but her movements were decisive as she handed the phone to me. I lit up the screen and asked what the password was. At that moment, he seemed to finally come to his senses. A cry of alarm sounded in his heart. Is my husband about to check my phone? Does he want to see whether I have? I knew it. He still cares about me. Could it be that his previous coldness toward me was because he suspected me of something? Oh my god, I really ought to slap myself. How could I make my husband feel insecure? Honey, go ahead and check. I'm completely innocent. Don't worry, I know you're innocent. After all, last night I even heard you crying and saying you love me. To stop her from continuing to overthink, I hurriedly added the second half of the sentence. I don't know where I lost my phone. Use yours to call it so I can find it. Liu Ruoyan. Then realized she had misunderstood. So it turns out my husband wasn't distant with me because he suspected me. Then is he really tired of me? It's my fault. I failed to keep a sense of freshness from my husband. But it's okay. I have the secret manual the advisor gave me. As long as I study hard, I'll definitely win my husband's heart back. Wait. He'll just go see who your strategist is. He'll also go learn from the experience. I looked down at my phone and reminded him the password, but didn't hear his answer. I only heard another storm raging in his heart. Dear heavens, are you trying to kill me? My password is hubby5201314. Me, this clumsy, love-befuddled fool. How did I set so many patterns for the password back then? Now if I say it out directly, hubby will definitely see through me being in love and question his love for me. If I don't say it, hubby will think I don't trust him. And I won't even tell him my phone password. It'll hurt his feelings. No matter what I do, it seems the result is always that the image of me in hubby's heart drops a lot. What do I do? What do I do? What can I do? Seeing that your password is so full of love, it'll give you a hand. I lift my head slightly, pretending not to see the panic in his eyes, then directly turn on the phone screen and hold it up to him. Face ID unlock works too. After it unlocks successfully, I turn my body slightly, pretending to be casual, but in fact quickly turn down the volume and open Douyin. Find the private chat page. My gaze falls on the last line in the chat box. On the thanks to the strategist user ID Shankadian. My smile freezes. I quickly tap into this user's homepage. Most of the content is esports game related. Same name, same content, same city. This is definitely my little brother Theseus. Mom and dad have always wanted my brother to come home and inherit the family business with me, opposing his doing esports and gambling, and the only one in the family who supports him. He refuses to work at the family company, so our parents cut off most of his financial support. Sometimes Hell asks me to help like his account. So only I know about this account. I've never told Liu Ruoyan. I quietly digest the facts before me, and, pretending to be calm, pick up my phone and dial my own number. Liu Ruoyan patiently waits for me. I look at his forced calm expression. My heart a mix of feelings. I just want to sigh. Finding some relationship coach online is one thing, but you found some completely unrelated esports streamer. Even finding an esports streamer would be one thing, but it just had to be my brother Hisyu. Can you be any more ridiculous? What other surprises do you have that I don't know about? Also, my brother Hisyu has been single since birth. Look what has turned my wife into. Watching Liu Ruoyan head off to work, I immediately dial Hisyu's number. Hisyu, when did you change careers? What? Bro, what do you mean? I hear you recently started being a relationship coach for people. I'm really curious. Didn't you tell me you're an esports streamer? Can you You mean explain it? Ah, what you're bringing up, that's all just for show. These days the audience is after novelty and excitement. As a streamer you have to play some tricks. You can't stay the same, just playing games. The fans will get bored sooner or later. So from time to time, I throw in some relationship topics to cook up a bit of contrast cuteness. And you know what? This trick works pretty well. My diehard fans all love watching it. By the way, bro, why are you suddenly interested in this? I sneer a little. I have a friend who recently found a relationship coach online. Said it's to consult about relationship problems. I took a look and wasn't that you? Who is it? I thought about it. Liu Ryan's account name is a bit hard to say. It's that husband is the handsomest in the world. So it was her. I didn't expect her to be your friend. Hisyu laughed out loud on the other end of the phone. Said cheerfully, speaking of which, she's my only relationship consulting client. She watched my live stream and thought I had a knack for teaching people how to chase guys. You don't know, every time she consults me, she sends 100 rockets in my live room, allowing me to be self-sufficient in a short time, without relying on my family. Hisyu, how do you, a single otaku, dare to give relationship advice? You can't say that. Oh, I don't have much relationship experience. Stop, it's not much. It's absolutely none. He paused for a moment. Fine, I really haven't been in a relationship, but my friends around me have. Although I haven't eaten pork, I've at least seen pigs run, and I study particularly hard to live up to her rockets. I even specifically wrote a relationship guide to show my professionalism. Bro, do you know how hard and serious I am? Speaking of this, my vision went dark. I squeezed out the word I know through my teeth. How could I not know? Isn't that book of yours on your homepage? It's called Female Charm Hidden in Details. Yes, that's the one. Did you read it? I wrote it pretty well, right? A lot of the content inside was learned from you. I went silent. I seemed to have some impression. Earlier he suddenly asked me, what traits do men usually like in women? And what makes a woman charming? At that time, I thought he finally wised up and had a girl he liked. So I told him all my thoughts without reservation. I didn't expect that he actually wrote my words into the book. Doesn't that mean he's using my own words to teach my wife how to attract me? I've never been this speechless in my life. We'll see the effect tonight. At work, I unexpectedly received a call from Lu Ruyan. She was still as concise as ever. Friend's heart. At a restaurant. He'll pick you up after work today to go try it. I was stunned for a moment before snapping back. I agreed. Then, I was staring at the content of Female Charm Hidden in Details my brother sent on the computer. How should I put it? It's all hard to describe. Full of tricks, but on second thought, if these tricks were performed by Lu Ruyan, I have to say I'd like it very much. Just as I was imagining Lu Ruyan acting pretentious, yet showing off like a peacock in front of me. The phone rang again. I picked up the phone and learned the dude would change in the partner boss's schedule. The business dinner originally scheduled for the day after tomorrow might be moved up to tonight. They asked for my opinion, talk tonight or reschedule. This cooperation is crucial for the company's future development. I could only agree to move it up. The other party hung up. I immediately dialed Lu Ruyan. Honey, I'm sorry. Something urgent came up tonight. I can't have dinner with you. You don't need to come pick me up. There was silence on the other end for a while. Lu Ruyan's cold yet pleasant voice came through. What time will it end? Hard to say. If it goes smoothly, probably. He'll go pick you up then. I instinctively answered. No need, I'll drive myself. But Lu Ruyan said. How can you drive after drinking? He is also a company owner himself, so he naturally knows business dinners involve drinking. Isn't there still a driver? I have a full-time driver. When there are drinking events, the driver usually picks me up. Lu Ruyan fell silent for a moment. I also have some work and need to stay until 9 p.m. This was the first time Lu Ruyan was so persistent. It's not that she hadn't offered to pick me up before, but considering he also had many social engagements, I have my own driver and would politely decline, not wanting to trouble her. She would usually go along with me. This was the first time that even though I refused, she still insisted on coming to pick me up. Something feels a bit off. Suddenly thinking of something. The corners of my mouth curled up unconsciously. Then come at that time, you'll wait. The cooperation talks went very smoothly. The dinner ended before 9 p.m. To facilitate the cooperation, I indeed drank quite a lot tonight. Just as I saw off the partners, the alcohol hit my head. I almost couldn't stand steadily. Fortunately, a slender and deliberate hand supported me from the side. He, Chung, are you okay? I'm fine. I barely stood steady. The night breeze brought a chill, making me sober up a bit. The woman in front of me was wearing appropriate professional attire, with fair skin, wearing thin-framed glasses, looking gentle and elegant. Shen Yu Chu, my childhood sweetheart. She and this, time's partner, old dang, have a good relationship. That this cooperation went so smoothly was thanks to her help in bridging the connection. She is also the daughter of my family's old friend. If it weren't for meeting Lu Ruyan, I might have already married Shen Yu Chu by now. My parents have always been very satisfied with Shen Yu Chu, thinking the two families are connected, knowing each other's backgrounds well, thinking of an arranged marriage. I was just about to mention this to the Shen family, who knew I would fall for Lu Ruyan. My parents racked their brains, but couldn't find a reason to object. Their marriage alliance plan had to be abandoned. The car lights were dazzling, bringing me back to. Soon, a Rolls Royce pulled up beside us. It was Lu Ruyan's car. As it approached, I could feel Lu Ruyan's unwavering determination, guarding against everything, but hard to guard against the one inside. I accidentally let Shen Yu Chu find an opportunity with my husband to be alone together. She seems to have made considerable progress, while my husband is still giving me the cold shoulder. The situation is extremely unfavorable for me, but I have to admit this is my own problem. That I'm not interesting enough, and fail to hold on to my husband's heart. My husband and Shen Yu Chu seem to be rekindling their feelings. I felt an unprecedented crisis. But then again, when was there ever any romantic feeling between me and Shen Yu Chu? We didn't even have a chance to start before it was nipped in the bud. Now, between us, it's purely a sibling-like friendship. Lu Ruyan stepped out of the car, stepping out in a custom-made black dress, with a tall figure and a cold temperament, walking towards me with steady steps. She looked calm on the surface, but inside, she was constantly reminding herself, stay calm, cannot be impulsive, must maintain the image. My husband likes women who are emotionally stable. I cannot appear emotional. A qualified wife must learn to control her emotions. Shen Yu Chu greeted her with a warm smile. Then he turned to me and said, Boss Heetiang is usually so busy, yet he still finds time to pick you up. Are you two showing off your affection? That makes a bachelor like me feel utterly inadequate. Shen Yu Chu was just joking casually, but to Lu Ruyan, his words carried a different meaning. He was hinting at my husband. She's still single. Still is. Is she waiting for him to come around? What on earth is she thinking? My husband only met with her once. Had a meal with her, but that didn't mean anything. Yet she thinks she has a chance. Oh, Shen Yu Chu. Shen Yu Chu, you have no idea how many new tricks I learned today. They're sure to make my husband even more satisfied. Now that I'm around, my husband will surely have no time to look for another woman. Shen Yu Chu, this time you've really hit a raw nerve. Lu Ruyan said to Shen Yu Chu. Boss Shen, had you settled down earlier, you wouldn't envy others. His tone was as courteous as usual. But today, there was a hint of hostility. Clearly, Shen Yu Chu was utterly puzzled, not understanding where Lu Ruyan's animosity was coming from. Before he could ponder further, his driver pulled up. The two bid each other farewell. Lu Ruyan immediately pulled me into the car. As soon as we got in, without saying a word, he leaned in close. My body went rigid, and the woman's face in my vision grew larger and larger. My pupils even began to tremble slightly. In the end, that nearly perfect face came so close, it almost brushed against me. Then it quickly pulled away. That deep, magnetic voice forcefully invaded my ears. In the narrow, quiet car, leaving nothing but the sound of my pounding heart. Soon after, the click of the seatbelt broke the silence. Lu Ruyan fastened my seatbelt for me. When I came to myself, he had already returned to the driver's seat. The sun came out from the west. I never thought he would ever buckle my seatbelt before, but thinking it through, I knew exactly what he intended. I stole a sidelong glance at him. I remained outwardly calm, but my inner feelings betrayed me. The top charm is an inadvertent touch. That stirs my husband's heart. And my remark, the pressure is just right. Delivered in that low, bubbly tone. Just as the book said, a woman's voice has its own allure. After the whole routine, my husband's expression definitely softened a great deal. It seems what the book said really works. Just as I had expected. For him to come pick me up so eagerly tonight must mean he has ulterior motives. But did he really have to buckle my seatbelt today? He just couldn't wait to put all those lessons from the book into practice. Lu Ruyan was still chattering away in her mind. It looks like tonight I'm about to pull out all the stops. I originally thought I'd proceed step by step, because some moves might be too bold, and I wasn't sure if my husband would like them, so I wasn't in a hurry to show them off. But now, with my rifle right in front of me, I can't afford to hold back. What grand move should I unleash next? I listened intently, only to hear him sigh as he spoke. My husband still isn't taking the initiative. He continued, his tone so indifferent when talking to me. Are all men really like this? Do they just say they don't love you and mean it? I couldn't stand a day like this. I want my husband to love me every minute of every day, to melt the ice in his heart, so that he can rekindle his passion for me. The car sped towards the direction of home. I was indeed silent the whole way, keeping my head turned toward the window. It's not that I didn't want to talk. It's just that I needed to take deep breaths, to barely suppress the addictive laughter. I couldn't help it, thinking of someone acting all reserved after getting home. I looked forward to the olfactory stimulation. All sense of guilt dissipated. Yu Ruyan was very thoughtful, offering to make me some sobering tea. She took off her coat, rolled up the shirt sleeves, and walked straight into the kitchen. Not long after, I heard a sound from the kitchen, followed by the sound of running water. I quickly got up to check the situation. Entering the kitchen, I saw Lu Ruyan frantically turning off the faucet, but there seemed to be a problem with the pipe joint. Water was still splashing out. A large part of her clothes was already wet. Then came Lu Ruyan's inner thoughts. Hubby definitely won't guess I broke the faucet on purpose. Does hubby like me like this? Hubby's eyes are full of me. I'm still charming to him. I brought a towel and handed it to her. You should wipe yourself first. Don't catch a cold. Ruyan took the towel, but I noticed a hint of expectation in her eyes, as if waiting for some reaction from me. I quickly put the sobering tea to my mouth. Took a sip. You should go shower quickly. Don't catch a cold. I still opened my bedtime. Poison as usual, and started to get dazed. Looking calm and steady as an old dog. Beside me, Ruyan was already impatient. Why hasn't hubby come over yet? Is my buff not fully stacked yet? I raised my eyebrows slightly, pretending not to know, my eyes silently asking her what she's doing. Her lips moved. Unexpectedly, Lu Ruyan kissed me directly. Tonight I am fulfilled. Ying ying ying, I saw her pick up the phone to share her joy with Hisiu, praising Hisiu, saying it was very useful. Immediately opened Hisiu's live stream room, and splurged on 1 million yellow arrows. The brilliant carnival special effects in the live room. Feeling emotional inside. My brother's the biggest winner in Kong City. To be honest, if Hisiu weren't my brother, I would definitely snatch Lu Ruyan's phone to apply for a refund. The sun has risen from the west. This person had never before fastened my seatbelt, but use your brain and you'll know what she wants to do. I contacted Hisiu again, asking him to screenshot some chat logs with Lu Ruyan and send them to me. Hisiu sent a question from the depths of his soul. Bro, why do you want my chat logs with President Lu? This is personal. Privacy, I chuckled. What if President Lu is your sister-in-law? Hisiu was stunned. It took a long time to react. Then he left the sentence. I suddenly have something to do. Gotta hang up. A few minutes later, the phone vibrated continuously, and he sent the chat log screenshots to my phone. I chose the most representative treasure one. I opened the image, put the phone in front of her, explained this. Jokes aside, I've played enough, knowing that some misunderstandings should be cleared up as soon as possible. Both sides speaking openly. Yu Ruyan was originally calm, but when she saw the content of the chat screenshots on the screen, her face instantly turned pale. I looked at the screenshot and began to read it word by word. Teacher, my husband likes cold goddesses and hates glib and greasy behavior, but by nature I'm someone who loves sweet talk. A total love brain. I'm so afraid my husband will find me greasy. How should I interact with him in daily life? I like cold goddesses? You're a love brain? Explain it then. What exactly is going on here? Where did you see this chat record? Yu Ruyan was still holding on to a glimmer of hope, wanting to say the chat record was nonsense. Making a final struggle, I said directly. He loves esports. Hisiu, my brother, get it? Yu Ruyan's face turned even paler instantly. Pale, with a hint of blue. Finally, she realized the reality. Stopped pretending and laid her cards on the table. She leaned in close to me, took my hand, looking pitiful. Hubby, I really am a love brain. That's right. Please don't be disgusted by me, okay? Please don't hate me, and then divorce me. I beg you, you like cold goddesses. I can keep pretending, right? See, I was pretending before. Not bad, but who told you that I like cold goddesses? Yu Ruyan paused and said softly. It seems brother-in-law said it too. Yu Ruyan recalled hearing it from Hisiu at a gala. At that gala back then, she fell in love with me at first sight, and then happened to hear a frivolous socialite expressing interest in me, asking Hisiu about my preferences. Yu Ruyan was standing right next to him then, hearing him say I like goddesses who look very cold, and that greasy women are on my blacklist. Don't even think about it. So, she believed it, thinking the woman I like must be very cold. So when I, who also fell for her at first sight, went to talk to her, she started putting on an act, and I misunderstood her cold expression as being uninterested in me. I was a bit sad, thinking if I couldn't date this beauty, being friends would be fine too. I pulled her to drink with me. She didn't make any excuses to leave the whole time, and just like that, the drinks kept coming one after another. In the end, we both got drunk. I always thought Yu Ruyan didn't like me. I didn't expect that she actually liked me all along. I have to say, Hisiu really is my own brother. Good brother. First he spreads rumors, then he gives bad advice, specifically coming to block my path to love. The air was finally cleared, and I found I could no longer hear Lu Ruyan's inner thoughts, that I don't like any cold goddesses. Yu Ruyan asked me, hubby then, what do you like? What kind? It's not about what kind. It's you, Lu Ruyan, as a person. So, never hide your true self again. No matter what you're like, I will love you just the same. Based on the new understanding I've gained of her, I continued earnestly. In the future, just say whatever is on your mind. I will listen seriously. Mouths are meant for speaking, not for decoration. Don't stifle yourself anymore. Lu Ruyan, I understand. He'll listen to my husband, but the mouth isn't just for speaking. Still just for kissing. Can we kiss first? Is there anything in your head besides these things? Can you put something else in it? I first smile bitterly and shake my head.